us strange, they call us twisted, but we remain among voices, bringing the pain. So you can just get down with us, down with us. They call us strange, they call us twisted, but we remain among the misfits, bringing the pain. So you can just get down with us, down with us. All right, how you doing, people? I'm TJ, also known as BstMstR. This is Carnival Spirits, and we've got our ninjas in action as a panel. I'll go down the line. We've got DCFaygoGuy. What up, man?
What's going on?
And we've got Isaac, a.k.a. Krazie. What up, dude?
Chillin'.
Nice. And then we've got the infamous Panic 17. What up, though?
What up, man?
And then we've got the illustrious Dark Sith himself, Don Chaos.
What up?
Evil motherfucker. And so what we're going to do for this hangout is a bunch of different things. We got a bunch of different topics. First, we're going to start off with, well, let's start off with Forgotten Freshness 5, because I just got my copy of that, and I've been bumping it on my way to and from work, and I'm really enjoying that shit. So we'll start off with DCFaygoGuy. You know, you don't have. I know you may be doing a full review on this shit, but you got any pros and cons? You got any favorites? Any least favorites?
Favorites? Definitely would have to say, pretty much I like the whole album. There's a few of them I do find myself skipping, mainly like the some of the skits. The Duke of the Wicked, I didn't even like that shit when it was on Let 'Em Bleed, so right away that's one of the first ones that I skipped. But one thing I did, and I'm going to point this out in my review, because I was actually going to review it tonight, but the song Someone's Gonna Die, I read in the book where it said they're not even sure what era that was from. And they said something like, they think bizarre. To me, it sounds Riddlebox-ish, because if you listen to the Killing Fields, they sound a lot alike. So,
interesting. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed all the liner notes, and that's something that, you know, Psychopathic has been consistent with, is providing some background information about each track. And what I found funny about that one is that if you didn't know, Someone's Gonna Die was leaked years ago. Okay, and for old school juggalos like me that would, you know, search online for any ICP tracks you could find, you know, like over a decade ago, online was the only place you could find tracks from Dog Beats and, you know, various other tracks from Basement Cuts and whatnot. And so some of the other songs that leaked out that most of us have all heard before, Someone's Gonna Die is one of them, and there was no hook. I like how they kind of drew attention to the fact that there was a hook on this track. I read the liner note before I heard the song, and so I was like, Shaggy on the hook, there is no flipping hook on this track, the one that I heard. So that tells me two things. One, the leak was unfinished. And two, the fact that they're saying, like, we don't know about this track, maybe you know about this track. You know what I think that's all about? You guys don't remember a long time ago, Violent J's home was broken into and his vault was robbed and people stole his shit. And so word on the street is that some of the fucking vaults of ICP's music were fucking stolen from Violent J and leaked, not with his permission. And that includes songs like Gone, the one where Jay raps about a relationship he had and how she kind of went bankrupt, and, well, whatever. He's talked about this before, too, but Someone's Gonna Die, Gone, are amongst songs that I don't think Violent J or anyone at Psychopathic leaked intentionally. And so, obviously, there are ninjas out there who know more about that song leaking than even Jay knows, because Jay got robbed. Anyway, food for thought. What do you think, Krazie Eye?
Well, with the Forgotten Freshness, I think right now, that song, right now, definitely sticks out to me. I mean, it's upbeat, it's fresh, obviously, hence the EP name, I mean, or whatever you want to call it. So,
well, and that's
yeah,
the other thing. That's the other thing about this one compared to the other ones. Well, mainly Forgotten Freshness Volume 3 and 4 those ones they actually recorded songs specifically for it. Whereas this one, I really don't even think there's a single one besides the intro. And so when you're looking at, would you just say Right Now, and then even I'm Ready, I think that's what it was. Fuck, I'm looking at my shit. I Can't Wait, that's what it is. Those were both off Mighty Death Pop, which to me, I love the fact that they returned back to Forgotten Freshness kind of theming, where it's actually all outtakes and shit, scraps shit, as they said.
Yeah, I think they like to give you a mix of some old rarities and newer rarities, and in this case, it's outtakes from the Mighty Death Pop, which this is the perfect vehicle for them. And they may not have had songs made for this, and that may be because they're still going to put out an EP. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still got an in-between album sideshow to expect from ICP. These are things that we fucking come to expect from ICP. You know what I mean? We expect a Hallowicked track when Hallowicked comes around, and we expect a fucking EP in between our Joker's cards. I don't care what haters say. I don't care what anyone says. That's what I expect. So in Forgotten Freshness, it's kind of like anything goes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can throw in those old Howard Stern and Mancow tracks and completely be an open book about those tracks, where they've kind of like been mum's the word about those tracks, never talked about it, never brought it up, never showed them off. Now, us that have heard them before, we've heard the shitty audio quality where it's been a cassette tape thrown out the car window in a puddle of piss, ran over by a car, and then brought in, and you're like you're like, serious? This is the best quality fucking version of the song you can find? And it was recorded off the radio, all staticky and shit. So, even though half this album I've heard before, the quality is just unreal. And maybe some juggalos out there that even like these songs, I don't think you can understand what that means to like get your hands on a better copy of something when for years you've only been able to hear this shitty version bootlegged and uploaded and fucked with, and not even the whole thing. Like, I never even heard the first verse of that Howard Stern song. I only heard it from the second hook to the end. So that whole beginning, it makes sense now, and now I finally understand it. How about you, Panic? What you got? Pros, cons?
The song that stands out to me is the Krazie song. That fucking beat. That beat with the Richie Valens sample, like, holy fuck. That was the shit. Like, the lyrics, yeah, they were cool and whatever. And I don't really listen to Krazie. Kind of find her annoying. And the fact that she likes Girls Only is a little bit even more fucking annoying to me. Even though I don't have a chance, I don't know why. But that beat, man, I kind of wish that they would have used it on another topic other than that girl. Because that beats the shit. Like, that's a cool fucking beat to me.
Well, I don't think that's a bad request at all. And if you've noticed, that time is showing us that Violent J likes to fuck around and make different versions of tracks. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have some of those bangers out there like Everybody Rise from the Jekyll Brothers. If they didn't try to fuck around and do that whole Rise from the Dead song, then it never would have become Everybody Rise. And to hear that old first version,
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's on Forgotten Freshness 5. But you're right. Like, do you remember that song from Forgotten Freshness 3? I think it's called It. And all it is Violent J flowing over a Dark Lotus beat, doing like different rhymes, talking about his dick in a hot dog bun and poop, and, you know, where it's like on Dark Lotus, it's like the sickest, illest shit ever. And then he goes and he shits all over it with like these freestyles that he wrote down or whatever the fuck, you know?
Well, he did that with Superstar as well.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Cold 187 did a whole fucking album with different beats. You know what I mean? Psychopathic beats. So sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like, you remember when Shaggy 2 Dope did a version of Twisted's I Fall Apart? All different lyrics and shit.
That was badass.
I was feeling
that was awesome.
Yeah. way better than Duke of the Wicked. I like Duke of the Wicked. That song's fun.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't have a problem with it.
Opposite Hatchet was better. I don't know.
Well, but that's why it belongs on Forgotten Freshness.
Right.
Because it's something worth forgetting, but it serves a purpose. And Jay really came out and labeled himself Duke of the Wicked, and he didn't do it by first that song. He first I believe he had a reference to Duke of the Wicked, and then he started saying it in social media, and then all of a sudden the song comes out on DJ Clay's mixtape. So you can tell how he works things into our minds where now it's accepted. I mean, who doesn't accept the fact that Shaggy is the Southwest Strangler? He's always had that label. I think Jay wanted his own label. And over the years, he hasn't really had any type of one label. He went with the Dawn for a while, but that whole Dawn hierarchy of warriors and ninjas, and that all kind of fell apart mid-2000s. And Isham, right, is the Unholy and the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
And,
well, if you remember the Supervillains little mini skit / song on the Race Shangri-La, actually, Violent J's title on that, and I remember it was a little bit before that even, he always went by the Juggler. So I think maybe, like you said, he was wanting an actual title for himself in a way that he could branch away from being the Juggler, because everybody knows Juggler became what Juggalo came from. So maybe he was, like you said, trying to come up with his own title without it being the Juggler.
Well, I think it's trying to also put a ranking on the name, because you know how, I mean, let's face it, everybody else has their own names outside of Psychopathic, like King Gordy with the whole King of Horrorcore, and I'm trying to think, like Prozac, the Hitchcock of hip-hop, Like everyone, unless they don't, most rappers out there find a slogan that they can call themselves, you know what I mean? I can't even think of other people right now. But Shaggy's always been the Southwest Strangler. Shaggy Two Dope, the Southwest Strangler. And Violent J, I think, he can't call himself the King of Horrorcore. He can't call himself the Godfather of the wicked shit. That's something that fucking people call Isham or Mastermind or, So being the Duke of the Wicked, I'm just saying Violent J is clever. He came up with his own niche, where he's happy to be Duke. He doesn't need to be the king. He's not the god of rap like Eminem is. He's just the Duke of the Wicked. He's
and I don't have a problem with the title of that. Just the song itself. The only problem I have with the song Duke of the Wicked is how many times he says the Duke of the Wicked. The Duke of the Wicked. So okay, I get it. You're the Duke of the Wicked. Okay, skip it.
A little repetitive.
That's my only problem with that fucking song is how many times he says it.
If I could have picked what song, like what Violent J track on the DJ Clay album, or mixtape, I'm sorry, that they would put on Forgotten Freshness, I would have definitely gone with any other one but that one. I would agree. But you got to figure that they're going to have plenty of material for, Forgotten Freshness 6. If they're really just going to pluck solo songs from DJ Clay mixtapes, come on. I can see like a dozen Forgotten Freshness potentials here, For real. And all the fucking collab tracks they've done with other artists, like, they threw the old Vanilla Ice ICP collab track, or, 3-6 Mafia. ICP's always worked with it. I like how they put that one with Jack White, the Mountain Girl song. Yeah. It was a nice B-side, and it's just the kind of whack shit that if they've put that on a serious ICP album, Juggalos would be upset. Who are you kidding? Juggalos get upset no matter what they do. Chaos, it's your turn. What you got? Favorites, least favorites?
Well, I haven't heard the whole album yet, but I have heard some of the songs off of there, like Fuck My Dad and stuff.
Oh, yeah. The Richard Bruce dedication.
That's actually...
You like that one?
And I guess a lot of people never knew this, but on the Duke of the Wicked, they actually sampled classic old hip-hop R&B song on the Duke of the Wicked song. A lot of people never knew that.
Which part is that? When I'm trying to think.
Like the beats from like some old timey 80s. I think what it is.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what it is either, but I definitely recognize it.
Sin from Zug Island was on that track, right?
Possibly. Zug Island is another entity from Psychopathic Records that I've been a big fan of over the years. Although I do not have Toxicology. I didn't hop on that. I've been broke, and you know what they say. It's so true. Juggalos, they don't need to buy merch and stuff to be a juggalo, and if that was, you don't have to buy anything and everything that Psychopathic puts out. That's one of the funniest things that I hear juggalos complain about. They expect us to buy everything. Really? Like, if that's true, then dude, I expect you to be wearing every single Juggalette merchandise that I see on Hatchet Gear. I want you to wear those fucking Hatchet Girl thongs, because they expect you to buy everything, bitch.
I got the Psycho Bitch booty shorts on right now.
I want you to get yourself a Psychopathic Bitch t-shirt, like a Juggalette tank top, and wear it on your head like Cali Green Too Fresh. Poke a couple of eye holes while you're wearing it and really fucking dig it in hard. No, but what do they say that about usually when it's like, Forgotten Freshness 5? I mean, they missed the whole point of the album, is that there's supposed to be outtakes, shitty tracks, some favorites, some not. You're not supposed to like them all.
Exactly. Yeah, it really kind of brings a whole new level to the music, if you ask me.
Well, the people that treat Psychopathic like mainstream artists and only give them love when they're hitting, and then when they're not hitting, they shit all over them. That one could argue that they're not true fans, or maybe that there is some sort of mentality that people carry where it's just very narcissistic. It doesn't do them. They don't enjoy it, so they, as a fan, have a right to voice their opinion, as we all do. But to seriously, to begrudge an artist, people are crazy. I mean, there's just no reason. There's no reason I can see for giving attention to someone who's not enriching your life and enjoying. So that's why I make fun when people bring up Miley Cyrus, because I don't even know who she is, and maybe only people who have things going on in their life and have goals and things that they're striving to do, and they're too busy to focus on what the rest of the sheep are talking about, right? In a way, there's a large amount of people that are looking for something else to entertain them. And ICP does a damn good job of entertaining motherfuckers, but then they bring this other level of entertainment where it's like, first here's the pristine album that they took 3 years to make and they put their heart and soul into it, and then they have this album of lost tracks, rare tracks, obscure tracks, outtakes, shit that sucks. So to say oh, you expect us to buy everything to this type of release just shows me what type of narrow-minded fool you are to not understand the big picture here. Especially if you're an artist. If you're an artist and you feel confident enough throwing those kind of disses towards a successful, established recording artist, world touring artists like ICP, who have found the formula business-wise to make it profitable to do what they love to do, which is spit rhymes, write songs, rock stages, and fucking throw down in wrestling rings. I mean, absolutely, they're living the life, and you can't enjoy the spoils of that hard work, and then kind of show this other side of you, where maybe other artists, they don't want to share their outtakes because they're too busy trying to look good. They're too busy trying to impress people. They don't want to show their fucking lesser work. I even heard Hobson say that once, where he has some tracks he doesn't want to share right now because he doesn't think they're up to his standard. But maybe in a few years when I'm bigger, flat out he admitted it, he can't wait to rise above the underground and be in the mainstream and have the numbers, in that fucking bracket, put them in a whole other tax bracket. You know what I'm saying? People that have goals, they don't worry about all the comments from the peanut gallery, which is exactly what this is. If you want to compare us to the average schmo behind a computer screen, you know what I'm saying? I think what we do is a little bit on another level of your average everyday YouTuber, because it's like everyone can make a Facebook account, but not everybody can share engaging posts and rally up, thumbs up, and get conversations going. And as much as I have a tendency to be negative and think negatively and pessimistically about what I do, over the course of the past week, it's been a mind-blowing just realization to me that we're ahead of the curve 100%. You know, staying up to speed with Google, as much as Google Plus sucks, but YouTube and Google Plus have merged, and we're using the technology to get us ahead and spread the messages that we're trying to spread, you know. And we actually have goals here, and that's why we don't fall victim to what every other public figure falls victim to, is where they start making emotional responses to things instead of being a little bit more, I don't know, smart about what their content is. It isn't about views. It's not about likes, subscriptions. It's about content. And if you can't find that content, and that's why we're going around in a circle picking ideas. I started off with Forgotten Freshness 5 because the Juggalo in me, you know, this is my opinion of that album. It's fucking awesome. It's listenable from beginning to end, and I only skipped over a couple of tracks. So, you know, I skipped over way less tracks than I skip over when I bumped Forgotten Freshness 4. And, you know, if you have to judge ICP by their latest release, I'd say this is a fucking step up from Forgotten Freshness 4, even without the Hallowicked bonus disc. There's enough nostalgia here. There's enough funny shit. There's some fresh shit. There's some shit I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I love you, ICP, but you can't force me to like this. You know, like, I don't think you expect me to like everything, and I just do not like that I'm an Alien song. I don't give a fuck who Project Pat is. That beat is so, like, not my style, okay?
I didn't like Mountain Girl. That wasn't that good to me.
Yeah.
It had too much of a country feel to that, but
Yeah.
I'm an Alien sounds like a great concept to me. I mean, it definitely
ICP's
drove
verses,
me in, wanted me to listen to it, but you know.
Yeah.
yeah, their verses were better than Project Pat, but they've always had that comic sound. And who's Project Pat? I guess he's the little brother of Juicy J from 3-6 Mafia.
3-6, yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say 3-6 Mafia has that kind of style, so for ICP, doing a song being an alien is really not out of the norm, but for someone named Project Pat, talking about being an alien, it's kind of like, whatever.
You telling me that the concept for Mountain Girl isn't more in line with ICP style? Talking about meeting this fine-ass mountain girl who leads him on, and then at the last minute is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm actually engaged to my cousin," and then all of a sudden, Violent J's got these inbred hillbillies on his ass shooting fucking bullets at him because Jay's, you know, screwing around with his cousin that he's set to marry. That shit's funny, man. Come on.
It was.
The beat threw me off.
Right.
Well,
I've heard,
that's, yeah.
I've heard Panic say he's not a big fan of country music because he's had to listen to it. I go through the same shit at my place of work. I have to listen to country music all fucking day. So hearing that country style is kind of like, but like you said, it is funny. The part where he starts running, I do start laughing. So.
Well, think about it. Think about it as a production analyst here. They made that song with Jack White, and from what I remember, there on their Fuse interview video, and from the liner notes, and whenever else I heard them talking about Jack White experience, Jack White was very particular on how they recorded it. He gave them 2 vocal tracks, like as if he made the whole song on a 4-track, and he gave them 2 tracks, and then the other 2 was for his fucking guitars. And that's like Jack White playing. Now, I know it's not your style of music, right? But you can't tell me that shit wasn't fucking ill. If you think about it, that wasn't made with a computer. that was Violent J and Shaggy going like this. All right, my turn. All right, get out of the way. You get in there and rap now. Okay, my turn. Let me get in here. And they were rapping into like 20 microphones all bundled together, and they're all vintage, and all the equipment is like ancient, right? They said it was like worth millions of dollars, whatever, thousands of dollars of like vintage, old school analog equipment. And then for it to come out as good as it did, they still think that their vocals sound muffled. And that just tells you where their standards are as far as quality of music. If they thought that the vocals were muffled on that track, imagine what they thought about the leaked versions of Howard Stern and Mancow. Oh my God, the quality on that, it sounds like they're under fucking water, for crying out loud. But
yeah, you gotta pay respect. I mean, Jack definitely made them work for that collaboration, you know?
And he chose them out of all the people to choose. Like, not for nothing, he's a pretty well-known superstar. He made a fucking movie with one of the members of Led Zeppelin, and I can't remember the other guy. It's called Turn It Up Loud. I haven't even seen the whole thing, but you know, that group is like, you know, to me that's like one of those moments where I'm proud of ICP. You know, I don't know, maybe people today don't give a shit, you know, even if you're not a fan of the White Stripes, which I'm not a huge fan of them, but I like their music. It's kind of like when
songs.
Yeah, well, remember when, you know, they got Snoop Doggy Dogg on a track on the Juckle Brothers back in '99? Like, was anybody else like happy for them? Like, you know, what about the song they did with Old Dirty Bastard, or, you know?
Oh, no doubt. I
mean, to me, it's like, I love seeing them work with other artists. Now they go and work with an artist like Krazie, and now I'm feeling like, okay, well, hey, I like seeing them collaborate with people, but if they're gonna collaborate with motherfuckers that I don't know, I don't care about, you know, I don't know like anything about her except that she's Tom Hanks' niece, and
what?
Yeah, you know, these are the few things I know about Krazie. Yeah.
Oh.
And so, but that song, you know, was hilarious, like you said, with the Richie Valens, and, you know, this to me is a refreshing, shows me that Violent J is still willing to make these silly jokes and be a pervert, even though he's married with kids. You know what I'm saying? ICP always had that flair of being inappropriately sexual in that awkward way. Like, come on, you know I'm fat and ugly, and you know, and I'm just trying to hit it. So, and look who he's stepping to. I mean, this is like a Hollywood mainstream, you know, Krazie, Gucci. His rhymes say it all. Like, he's very clever with that shit. And then he's got Sugar Slam doing the backup vocals, so you know she's down, you know?
Actually, I went into a Dollar Tree I think it was last week. I was going through actually singing that song, and my fiance kept looking at me like, "What the fuck, dude? Shut up!" Because I'm like, I'm seriously going down the aisles like, Krazie. I'm not even kidding, because I just listened to it before I went in, and it like implanted itself in my brain, so I just kept singing it. Fuck it, I didn't care. It's good.
Yeah, Violent J enjoys singing even though he really can't.
He's got a voice on him.
He tries.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else is on there. Did anyone have any other topics to bring up?
About forgotten freshness, or
about whatever?
We can get in that Jump Steady.
All right. So, for my birthday, which was a couple days ago, my girlfriend got me a copy of Jump Steady's The Road, and this is his first audiobook. And we listened to it from beginning to end. It was fucking awesome, and I have a lot to say about it, but, you know, for those of you who haven't heard it, I'm not going to do any spoilers. They are kind of like ghost stories, or stories of experiences that he's had throughout his life, childhood, in the Army, also in the early years of being in Psychopathic, when they were on road trips to New York City to visit the Jive Records suits and some various adventures that they had while they were, let's just say visiting spooky places and then of course the infamous Story of the Road, which is basically taken right from Behind the Paint, and a lot of juggalos out there probably already know and probably already suspect the ties that it has with the origins of the concept for Dark Lotus. And Jump Steady is such a cool motherfucker, and I've said this numerous times online and to my friends. He's always been my favorite artist on Psychopathic Records, and I'll break it down to you like this. I've always appreciated what I've seen ICP able to do, how they were able to win over motherfuckers with humor by kind of, pulling the string a little bit and being a little, just kind of very direct with their leading you on, like there's something coming, and behind this curtain, around that corner, over that hill, just wait, ninjas, it's going to be fresh. And, almost like, if motherfuckers that have been, caught up in this for long enough, and then they like what they found at the end of that journey, even though it's not the destination, but it's the journey that counts. So, you have motherfuckers who appreciate everything that Psychopathic has done, and then you have people who felt like maybe the final results aren't enough to satisfy them, and they need more, or they're not getting what they needed, any more out of the music. For me, I've always taken it with a grain of salt, because every new revelation that Psychopathic makes, it presents you with an opportunity to accept or to reject. And most people, it seems to me, treat Psychopathic the same way they treat every other mainstream entity. If they're hot, they're hitting, then they support. And if something isn't to their liking, then they fucking, they light torches and they go on a witch hunt for it, and it's almost like fair weather shit. But for me, this Jump Steady audiobook has got to be one of the freshest fucking things that Psychopathic has ever put out. It is so smart, it is so entertaining, and we all enjoy watching video blogs, so we already like listening to people talk. Jump Steady's great at it, and some of the things he talked about in there, it's not the first time I've heard it. Like the story where I'm not to say what happens, but at the end when they all look at their photographs and they see all the orbs in all the different photographs, back in the 2001 gathering at the Mystery Seminar, not only did we hear that story, but they showed us those photographs on the overhead projector before Joe Bruce walked up with a towel over his head without face paint and showed himself as Joe Bruce instead of Violent J. And as emotional as that seminar was, I remember them telling us, like, look, we're going to share some stuff with you that we never talk about publicly. This is like our own crew. This is our own experience. And this is our, this was right before Dark Lotus came out too, and so you have to remember that the content in the albums was always kind of very, like, reminiscent of the interactions that we had with them. So I hear them talking about, ghost hunting, and then we listen to these songs that are so well written and so well presented on an album with no liner notes and no credits, So all these years later, people criticize ICP, oh, they're not doing this, they're not hitting on that. It's like, I don't know, as a real fan of ICP and Psychopathic and a huge fan of Jump Steady, I give them the illest props for this endeavor. And they're, once again, blazing a trail, doing what no one else has done. I mean, who the fuck puts out audiobooks? Just like who the fuck put out hour-long HoFlows? Or who the fuck finds a way to sell 3 copies of one album with a bonus disc? Or who the fuck does live pay-per-views for your wrestling and your gatherings? Or, I could go on with this shit that Psychopathic does first before anyone else. Why? Because they're able to. Because they reap in the money. Well, all you suckers, all you patrons, you buy shit, and that's not ICP's fault. That's us. That's the society that they live in, When it's Christmas time, what do we all do with our money? We all go buy shit. You gonna hate on ICP because we all buying their shit? I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's one of the things I find funny is you got a lot of these people now that's bitching about them. It's like, then stop buying it. No one's making you do it.
One of the funniest things I heard from a ninja was, "I'm buying this shit like I'm supposed to." What do you mean like you're supposed to? I'm not
Oh,
gonna
okay.
say no names or
Yeah.
nothing. No, all I'm saying is, man, is like when I'm broke, I ain't buying shit. You know what I mean? And that's why I was so happy when my girlfriend bought me Jump Steady's The Road, because I don't have the money to buy that shit.
Right. Well, see, I was
Listen to
actually
it online for free until I get my copy.
Yeah.
And now it's part of the archive because I'm a collecting ninja.
Check it out. The way he makes this, the way he tells the stories, it's almost like he's talking to you. Like we're talking now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's cleaned up and it got like a slight little bit of echo and it got some sound effects, but it's like he's just talking. There's no production team or whatever. He's just all going off of his head. You know, he's just talking, cussing or whatever. How he experienced it. That's what I really liked. It wasn't, you know, they probably did fix it up a little bit, but it's like he's just sitting back talking like this. Mm-hmm. And at the end, it really makes you want to do, and this is from the album, it really makes you want to go on some ninja missions. It makes you want to do something like that.
I agree. And let's not forget that this is the guy who wrote the book on the end of boredom. All right, Morton's List.
I want to get that.
A lot of motherfuckers out there may not know that this shit is. It should come to no surprise. Fans of Jump Steady know what he's all about, the chaos theory, and there's numerous stories of Jump Steady that have earned, him a spot as a top-ranking, ninja in action. All puns intended. You know what I'm saying? Because and I was talking to Panic about this. Nothing helps you better in life than having somebody coach you or help you, show you the ropes, or even introduce you around when you're the new person in a spot, right? And I always felt that I was at a disadvantage in life by not having an older brother, somebody to go through the trenches and show me how shit happens and how things should be done and how to get myself through situations the right way. And I had to learn everything on my own the hard way because I'm the oldest child, you know? And so when I was a kid, 17 years old, and I fell into the world of juggalo shit, I very quickly picked up on the fact, because I was so curious, how the fuck can these scrubs be, how did they find this niche where they're painting their face and it's like they throw me off with the fart jokes and the potty mouth, but under the surface, but there's also this positive message that is so clear. So it's like I get how they've got something else going on here, and they've made me want to look into it more and more. And when I realized that he's mentioning like the Rude Boy here, or Tall Jess here, or Jump Steady here, then you start to wonder who these motherfuckers are. When I learned who Jump Steady was, it's his real brother. And years later, we all know Jump Steady's influence on Violent J, how he brought him to live with him in the South, how he experienced racism. All this helped inspire him to become who he's become. And it all makes sense to me that Violent J is an incredibly talented motherfucker. But none of that shit could have ever happened if it wasn't for his older brother Jump Steady. And in my own way, I give respect where it's due, where everyone's like, oh, Violent J, you are the shit. I'm a part of that crew. I'm a part of that mentality where I do think that Violent J deserves way more credit than he's given across the board on all levels. But I think that Jump Steady is like the man behind the curtain per se, who he's a strength and kind of like a go-to guy. You know what I mean? Like Jay's not alone. He's got his brother. He's got Shaggy. He's got Billy Bill. And I think we all tend to forget that because they have each other, they're able to keep each other going. You know what I mean? If you had a motherfucker like Jump Steady in your ear, talking the reason he talks, sharing his perspective, giving advice, handling business. I mean, he's a tour manager, This shit's entertainment, so there's work involved, and he puts in work. And he is an altruistic motherfucker. He's been in, the Gulf War. He fought for this country. He worked as an EMT. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can go on and on and on and blow his head up a million times. But this is the type of shit that that keeps me on YouTube because, I mean, there are no other motherfuckers out there giving credit where it's due. Now, I don't mean like there are no Juggalo sites out there. There's tons of them. There's Faygo Lovers. There's Juggalo News. There's actually Juggalo Nation on Facebook. I love those motherfuckers. Their posts are awesome. And maybe I'll do a top 17 Juggalo Facebook pages in the near future because there's definitely a shit ton that deserve a shout out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, as far as Jump Steady is concerned, man, like I'm a fan of the dude's raps because I know that he's not a rapper first and foremost. The rapping is something he did secondary, and he did a pretty damn good job of it. You know, that's how I feel. As an artist, a lyricist, and a rapper, that's all something that I do, but it's not my primary thing. And you gotta love what you're doing if you're gonna do it. You know, you can't just do if you hate what you're doing, it's not even gonna be good fun for you. Everyone's gonna know it's not fun. Panic, you said that earlier about vloggers. You know, you can tell when motherfuckers aren't even having fun. And that's when they're not watchable, you know? You're just churning out videos because you have to, because you're trying to meet a criteria. It's a numbers game only, and your focus isn't on content. You know, people can tell when you're not having fun, and people can tell when, you're just, going by the motions, doing my sign in, doing my sign off, people tend to forget that hard work requires a lot of shit behind the scenes, and that's what Jump Steady means to me. I look at that motherfucker, and that reminds me that it's not just what we see on stage, but all that shit behind the curtain that, whether you feel like you deserve it, or you are earned a right to know what's going on behind the curtain or not, that expression is like played out as, saying that, you're down with the clown. You know what I mean? It's just an expression, It doesn't matter what we say, what we do. The hate fuels motivated people even more to be more motivated. If those guys listened to the haters, they would have stopped years ago.
And that also kind of goes back to the Jump Steady thing, like I told you earlier. Some certain people can feel people's auras or energy or whatever, and it even kind of goes on YouTube. You could watch a person for 4 or 5 minutes, whatever. Oh, okay, this guy's just trying to do something. He don't really care about the video. He's just, you know what I mean? Like, whenever you do really long videos, if you're trying to keep up a mask for YouTube, it slips. You know what I mean? Like, for 20 minutes, you can't hold that mask there. Every now and then, you catch a person and they slip. Their real personality comes out. That's why when I do a long video, I don't slip, because it's like I'm not making videos for whatever reason. I'm just making them because I like them and I enjoy this.
Panic's like, I'm one step ahead of you fucks. And I don't take my mask off.
Or that.
It's kind of like Don Chaos, for example. You notice how he's always pleasant and has good things to say? But then behind our backs, he's always talking mad shit, making fun, and kind of being a dick. He's always telling me what to do. And he's always going to Scotty Two Balls and ratting on me like, BstMstR said this, BstMstR said that. And I'm just kidding. You don't do any of that shit. We have no turmoil on this channel, which I believe is one of the reasons why ninjas enjoy this channel, because it's almost like the whole Juggalo family concepts, where a fucking just anybody who maybe they were disrespected as a kid, maybe they were fat, maybe they were gay, maybe they were just a scrub, a loser, and then they find this scene where everyone's showing love and giving appreciation and treating each other as equals. And it's like, if that isn't attractive to someone who's suffering from, being a nobody, then I don't know what is. but then to see a fraction of that community reject you strictly because you feel accepted by someone and no one else, but there's always that sliver of people that are like, no, you don't fit in because you want it too much, or, you know, it's not about fitting in, it's about appreciate, you know what I'm saying? So I always thought that it doesn't matter if you understand this shit, and it doesn't matter if you, it doesn't even matter if you represent it properly. All that matters is if you enjoy it. And I feel like some people, they spend more time trying to look like they're having fun than actually having fun. You know what I mean? And then, of course, that's keeping it real, right? If you keep it real and you're always a negball and you're never happy, you may feel deep down that, oh, I'm keeping it real. But, you know, real talk is, there's only so much of that bullshit that can keep others' attentions, you know? So it really is a life lesson. You gotta learn how to use everything in moderation, and that goes with videos, that goes with social skills, you know. I mean, you gotta kind of walk that fine line between self-absorption, narcissistic insights, and then also, especially on YouTube, like, you gotta give back. It can't be all about you. It's why I love ninjas that do like subscription contests. Like, you know, we're going to be at 1,000 subscribers very soon, and I was thinking we should do a contest. Like, we'll put a video up, have everybody leave a comment, and then we'll do a random number generator and pull a number, count up, pick a name, and give away a copy of Jump Steady's The Road or something.
That'd be the shit.
Yeah. I think I got that idea from Don Chaos. Is that right?
Yeah.
See, I just made that up, and he's like agreeing with me, taking credit. Type of asshole that Chaos is. That wasn't your idea.
I know I do remember seeing Don Chaos saying he wanted to give away House of Krazies a while back.
That would be the shit too. If we actually had like money and we were more organized, it would have been cool to get like the pre-order House of Krazies with the T-shirt and the autographs and actually give them. I would love to do that type of thing. It's just I'm too broke.
Right.
And
we'll see. I was going to get The Road with Rotten Freshness and Crystal Skull. I ended up opting out right now at the moment because those were the two albums I wanted more. But I do plan on getting them because, you know, I save money and shit.
Dare I ask, what are the two albums you needed to have more?
Oh, it was, no, just the Forgotten Freshness Volume 5 and the Big Hoodoo Crystal Skull. I was going to get those two as well as The Road, but when I took a look at my financial situation, I said, I can go ahead and wait on this one, and took The Road out. But I do plan on getting it later.
I thought you were saying, like, there were a couple other albums you had to have.
No.
And one of them was, like, Nickelback's, like, great hits.
Oh, hell yeah, all day.
No, actually, it was actually Britney Spears, but don't tell nobody.
She's doing the wicked shit too now.
Didn't you know?
Well, I thought it was funny how ICP covered Christina Aguilera's song. I always wanted to know, like, if she'd ever give a public opinion on what she thinks of that, you know.
I actually like the version.
That was one of the main reasons I got the Red Pop.
I know, man, because you're obsessed.
For real.
Dude, you probably have, like, a pinup of her, don't you? You got you got Violent J's pinup behind you.
Yeah.
Hair.
And I got Twisted, so we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just got throw Christina in there, and we're having a fucking orgy.
Don Chaos just has his big Jägermeister flag, friggin' alcoholic over it. You can tell a lot by a ninja for what they hang on their wall, you know what I mean?
I painted my wall.
Yeah.
Actually, something really true and actually funny is I actually did have a poster of Christina Aguilera when I was like 14 or 13 or some shit.
Dude,
no lie.
That is so
no
gay.
Lie. Hey, I liked her. What can I say? It's not like I jammed her fucking music, but.
No, but you probably dry humped the shit out of your wall, didn't you?
Yeah, there's actually various holes in the wall.
He'd go in the store and start rubbing bottles because he's waiting for the genie to come out.
Oh, man.
Oh shit! Easy there, Panic.
Where do you think his connection to ICP was? He rubbed a bottle of Faygo and he's like, "Whoa, this is kind of good."
Man, the first time I got a bottle of Faygo was like $2 fucking. I was like, that's bullshit. They said it was fucking cheap.
Yeah, but you probably got one of those, like, you know, 8-liter like bottles, you know, super size like family versions.
Yeah, it was actually pretty big.
Goes on a video rant. They said Faygo was cheap. But it's
Right? I'm telling you, man. Well, you know, I've actually recently been into other vloggers outside of the Juggalo YouTube community. I mean, you have to nowadays because the Juggalo YouTube community sucks. There's like no one to watch.
How dare you?
What? What? Are you telling me that like somebody's gonna comment under this video and say, "What? I'm a member of the Juggalo YouTube community. You're saying that I suck?" Yeah, I'm saying you suck. If you didn't suck, you'd be popping with videos and talking about shit and getting our attention. I'm just saying that in the Juggalo universe, there's nothing being talked about in a time when there is so much to talk about. I feel like the only motherfuckers that deserve a shout-out is Faygo lovers themselves, because I got a message the other day from my homie, Smokey. He's like, "Hey, dude, you made Faygo lovers, you know, website. Congrats." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, no, your bootlegs, you know, of Fright Fest." And so I went to Faygo Lovers and I looked in their video section, and sure enough, they shared all the Twisted Blaze, ROC, and After Party videos up there on their site, which is mad fresh, you know. You click the link that says BstMstR, it brings you right to my channel, and you know, each of those videos all got over 300 views, and you can tell that, you know, there is a base number of juggalos that are interested in that shit, and everybody got to see that shit, you know what I mean? And I have to give big ups to Faygo Lovers for helping me put that shit on blast, helping me do what I always intended in doing and sharing these videos with juggalos. To have that outlet is fucking awesome. And it doesn't happen often, so I got to give them credit when they do that. Because to give me shine or to give my videos shine, even, you know, even without contacting me, even without letting me know they did it, it was a nice surprise, you know. And one day, I believe that Faygo Lovers will acknowledge and realize what we're doing here on Carnival Spirits, and, you know, maybe possibly Carnival Spirits will get that kind of attention, and they'll share a video. It's just that we're nobodies, so there's no reason to put any of us on a pedestal, where in fact it's the content that we discuss that dictates whether or not we will get those views. And therefore it is upon each and one of our shoulders to help maintain the state. I feel like I'm running for president here, you know what I mean? My constituents, my constituents here, are you not entertained? No. But, you know, like they say, you gotta keep politics and religion out of the conversation if you want to keep it going. We don't want any showstoppers here, because.
Sorry about that.
What are you sorry about?
Bringing politics into the mix.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, you can.
Last week was fucking fun, dude. I actually really enjoyed doing that. And I'm probably gonna do a bloopers video because I ended up with like 4 or 5 times where I sat down on that desk, clipped it, and I was like, the fuck am I doing? And I just have to like redo a take.
Well, that's what people are thinking when they watch these videos. They're like, what the fuck are they doing?
I did enjoy last week's topic. I actually had a blast with that. So big props.
So did I, man.
Krazie.
That topic was fresh enough to get me out of retirement. You know.
I was gonna say, dude, you got BstMstR back, so that had to be something great.
I couldn't resist, man, because I'm all about jump steady, and I feel like it's a fucking travesty that all these so-called juggalos online won't even take fucking 5 minutes out of their day to make a video giving love to jump steady. It's fucking retarded. It's fucking retarded. It almost makes me feel like the so-called juggalos are only juggalos when they think they can get attention, and they don't really have any. I mean, it's almost like I get it. You don't have time to talk about everything. Like, there's only so many hours in the day, but I haven't seen this many fresh things going on in a while. It must, everyone must have got scared away by all that hoopla with Twisted leaving. I mean, now that the dust is settled, have you noticed that the dust is settled and all the phonies have faded away. People are leaving YouTube. People are like not even watching video. Like, we have less views now, but the views we have are solid subscribers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I hear say, as forefathers of the Juggalo community establishment that is Carnival Ninjas, Spirits of the Dark Carnival. I say this 100 times. I'll say it again. We are the #1 Juggalo collab channel that has ever existed.
Hear, hear.
Never before has there been a group of more dedicated, free-thinking, and respectful ninjas that not only do a good job of making each other feel welcome. I feel that's the key ingredient right there. There's tons of ninjas that have been on YouTube before us, but hardly any of them will give just the simple little things that show respect, and then they bug out wondering why they don't get respect. It's crazy, Respect is a two-way street, just like conversations, and therefore, I feel very strongly that it's all about the content, and as long as our viewers are happy with what we do, it doesn't matter what the competition thinks, and that's how we're treated as competition. If you're not with us, you're against us.
What was I'm gonna switch it just to House of Krazies because that's what I've been bumping. I don't know if everybody's got the new CD, but Nosferatu off the new House of Krazie CD is really that's been my shit. I don't know what everybody else's favorite song is, but Nosferatu, that's my shit.
I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet. Sadly.
It's pretty good.
See, again, I fucked up. I bought Big Hoodoo, and so I stopped listening to the other two albums that I was wanting to because I was going to do reviews on them. And it's like I just focused on fucking Crystal Skull, and I'm like, oops.
Dude, but that's my problem. I got so many goddamn CDs that they get thrown to the back. Like, I haven't listened to Faith No More in a while, and I haven't listened to Soundgarden in a while, and I got all these goddamn CDs that are just sitting there.
Yeah. Well, like 2 weeks ago.
That one, I mean, her new just dropped, I think.
Yeah, see, and like 2 weeks ago, I stumbled upon on my iPod and actually found some old Alice in Chains songs. And I was like, why the fuck can I never listen to this in a while? And so, I know what you mean.
It's a fast-paced genre. It's hard to really keep up with everything that's new, in my opinion.
Hell yeah, I agree. Oh. Like I've been getting into Twisted Insane over the last year or two, and I got his Insane Asylum CD, and I want to get all his other shit, but like you said, it's just hard to get up all the money and get all their shit.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, we're scrubs, aren't we? Can't be expected to get it all.
Takes a while.
Yeah.
And then there's
Imagine being from a different country.
All right, ninjas. I'm going to have a quick dinner with my mom, and if you guys want to keep hanging out, I'll come down and check in a bit. So, unless you guys want to wrap it up now, your choice.
Yeah, actually, I gotta go get something to eat. I'm fucking.
You're hungry?
Yeah, I want to go get me some Chinese.
All right. Well, if the rest of you want me to leave it open, I will. Otherwise, we can call it a hangout and reconvene at another time.
Yeah, actually, that sounds good. I'm down with that.
All right. All right. Well, that's 3 versus 2, so we're done. DCFaygoGuy and Don Chaos, you guys can start your own hangout if you want to continue.
No, I gotta go eat too, and then I'm gonna motherfucking review. So if you're subscribed to me, that's probably backwards as fuck. Again, that's
Nope.
coming up soon.
All right, so since all of us want to leave except Don Chaos, we're just going to leave him alone. And everyone can just sit here and look at Don Chaos. All right, thanks for watching, guys.
That was a good one. We'll see y'all later.
Peace.